Hello everyone, it's Hungry Masha. I have already made a few videos about goulash, but this topic is almost inexhaustible, so I decided to make another video about cheap goulash in Budapest. Are you ready? Let's go! Last year I made a similar video, and back then it was very difficult to find restaurants where goulash costs less than €5. But this time I was lucky and I found 7 restaurants where goulash costs €5 maximum. Like last time, I will assess the restaurants against the following criteria: service, atmosphere, price, the size of portion ratio, and of course taste. The first place I went to was recommended to me by my subscribers in the comments, so don't hesitate to share with me your ideas, your recommendations and other important information. I'm talking about Fehérvári utcai market, located in the 11th district of Budapest on the Buda side. This market is not touristy at all, many locals go there, so you can find there good vegetables, fruits and other Hungarian products at quite low prices. On the top floor of this market you can find different canteens with Hungarian and other dishes. I was recommended to try goulash in Nanahogy Finom canteen, but unfortunately when I came there I discovered that they only have bab goulash or goulash with beans, and I wanted to review traditional Hungarian beef goulash. Luckily, right next to this canteen there was another one called Marika éterbár. They have different Hungarian dishes, including krumplish testa, which is in my opinion the most unusual Hungarian dish because it's basically pasta with mashed potatoes. It's difficult to assess the service and the atmosphere in such places because it's basically a self-service canteen. That's why I will assess this place just according to 2 criteria: taste and price, size of the portion ratio. I paid 1,450 forint or €3.7 for a big portion of goulash. Small portion costs 850 forint or a bit more than €2. The portion was big, it was enough as the main dish. If you watched my previous videos about goulash, you know that in Hungary goulash is consumed as the main dish despite being a soup. I give 5 points for the price portion ratio. I already tried the goulash at another market, Lehel. It looked similar, there were a lot of potatoes, a lot of carrots, there was less meat. In my opinion, goulash in Marika éterbár was less tasty than at the Lehel market because it was a bit too salty, and I think that at the canteens they add salt when they want to hide the taste of some bad ingredients. Probably it was the case. I give only 3 points for the taste of this goulash, and Marika éterbár gets on average 4 points for its goulash. To try the next goulash we are going back to the Pest side, to the restaurant called Pipa, located next to the Great Market Hall. I already reviewed this restaurant a year ago in my video about the best goulash in Budapest. Every time I try to include new restaurants in my reviews so that you had more places to visit during your stay in Budapest, but sometimes it's good to come back in the same restaurant after a while to check if it's still good. The restaurant was one of the winners of my rating a year ago, and I decided to check it again. It was a good idea because there was one major change. They don't have big portions of goulash anymore. You can only order goulash in a cup. 250 ml cup of goulash costs 1,260 forint or €3.3. I will give 4 points for price portion ratio because the price is low but the portion was also very small. It's not enough as the main dish, it's a starter. The interior in Pipa étterem remained the same. I like it very much. It's neat, simple, traditional. I give 5 points for the interior. Last time I was very impressed by the service. I thought it was very friendly, but this time I was less satisfied, probably because I came on Sunday and there were a lot of people. The waiters, I think, were not very happy to see me with a stroller and a baby. They ended up finding a table for us, and the service in general was quite good. I give 4 points for it. The goulash was served quite quickly, despite a lot of people in the restaurant. There was quite a lot of meat for such a small portion. There were vegetables, the broth was very rich, and the meat was very tender. I enjoyed the taste very much, like a year ago, and I give 5 points for the taste. I also ordered hortobadi palacinta or pancakes with the chicken paprikash because I thought that it's quite impolite to order just a small soup in the restaurant. I already tried hortobadi palacinta in my video about top 10 Hungarian dishes that you can watch by proceeding to this link. And last time the portion was very big, this time it was smaller, but it was very good because this dish is very hearty, and after eating a cup of goulash I was not so hungry. Also, I think the taste of hortobadi palacinta in Pipa was better. The meat was cut into smaller pieces and I liked the taste of the sauce. It was very balanced. In general, I enjoyed both dishes. I paid about €8 for them, including service fee, which is 10%. It's quite cheap for central Budapest, so I definitely recommend that you go to Pipa Étterem when you are in Budapest. On average, Pipa restaurant gets 4.5 points. The next place I went to is located not far from Pipa Étterem, near Calvin Term metro station, and it's called Bécsiszelet, which literally means Wiener Schnitzel. So as you can guess, this place is known for their schnitzels. Soon I will release a video about schnitzels in Budapest, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to watch this video. Bécsiszelet has a few locations in Budapest, but I chose one near Calvin Term metro station because it's closer to my house. It's also right in front of the bus stop when you go to the airport, so if you forgot to try schnitzel in Budapest, you can do it last minute before taking a bus to the airport. The interior of this place is simple, but I did not like it because I think it's very old, not very stylish, and it's a bit dark. I give only 4 points for the atmosphere. The service was good, friendly, I have no complaints, 5 points. In Bécsiszelet you can get a big or a small portion of goulash. The big portion costs 2,090 forint or 5.3 euro, and the small portion costs 1,490 forint or 3.8 euro. I ordered a small portion because I included only goulash that costs less or maximum 5 euro into my review. By the way, they also have lunch menus. One of the lunch menus includes a big portion of goulash, half a liter, and 3 pancakes. And it costs only 2,500 forints. It's quite a good deal if you want to have goulash for lunch. The portion of goulash was bigger than in Pipa, but the price was also higher, so I think the ratio is approximately the same. I will give 4 points for it. There were a lot of vegetables in this goulash, probably less meat, and the flavor of beef was not so strong. I actually like when the flavor of beef is strong, so I give only 4 points for the taste. But the goulash was hearty, filling, as it should be. On average, Bécsiszelet gets 4.25 points for its goulash. The next restaurant I went to was recommended by one of my subscribers in the comments. It's called Stex. I had been there before, but I had never tried their goulash. They have tables outside and inside. I decided to sit inside. The design looks a bit like an Irish pub. On the walls there were a lot of pictures. That's how I found out that Stex is a family restaurant. It was founded by a person whose name is Stex, and on the menu and on the website you can read the story of his father Alfred Stex, born in Bratislava in 1906. I like this atmosphere. It's an atmosphere of a family dining room, so I give 5 points for the atmosphere. The service was fast and friendly, also 5 points. They have a big portion and a small portion of goulash. The small portion costs 1,890 forint or 5 euro. The big portion is 2,990 forint or 7.6 euros. I got a small portion. It was bigger than in Bécsiszelet and in Pipa, but also more expensive. So I give 4 points for the price portion ratio. But I was impressed by the look of this goulash. It looked very appealing. It was served not in a very deep bowl, so I could see a lot of meat, a lot of vegetables immediately. It looked almost like a stew, and there was a slice of pepper on top of it, a small detailed, but it made it look even better. The taste was also very good, the broth was rich, the meat was very tender, there were small noodles, чипетки, as it should be in the traditional goulash. I give 5 points for the taste of this goulash, and on average Stex gets 4.75 points for its goulash. We continue to explore goulash in the 8th district of Budapest, and we go to Rákóczi there to try goulash in a Rákóczi restaurant. I went past this restaurant many times and I was always tempted to go there because it looks like a place where the locals go, and I like such places. And I finally got an occasion to go there to try their goulash because they have cheap goulash. If you look on their website and on their main menu, you can see that goulash costs 3,190 forint, or about 8 euros. But if you come in the lunchtime, they have special lunch offers. The small portion of goulash costs 1,790 forint, or 4.5 euro. The small portion is actually quite big. It's half a liter. There is also big portion, 0.7 liter. I think it's almost impossible to eat, so I got the small portion, and I give 5 points for the price, size of the portion ratio. The interior of this restaurant is simple. There are not so many traditional Hungarian elements, named after Ferenc Rákóczi II, who was the leader of the independence war in the 18th century. But the interior is a bit shabby, so I give only 4 points for the atmosphere. I would give 5 points for the service because it was fast, friendly, but unfortunately the goulash was served in a chipped bowl. In my opinion, it's not acceptable to serve food in such plates, so I give only 4 points for the service, and I hope that they don't serve the expensive goulash in the same bowl. There was not a lot of meat in this goulash, more vegetables. The taste was average. Compared to Pipa and Stex, the soup was less rich. But it was not bad, so I give 4 points for the taste. An average Rákóczi restaurant gets 4.25 points today. Now we go back to the Buda side, to Kisvigadó restaurant, located in a very nice part of Budapest, very calm, not touristy, the 11th district, and it's also located not far from Budai Arboretum, a nice garden where I like walking. I had never been to this restaurant before, but it has good reviews on Google and they have cheap goulash, which is very important for me. This restaurant has a terrace, but I decided to sit inside. It was a good decision because the interior is very cozy, very neat. It looks like grandmother's apartment with lots of small elements. 5 points for the atmosphere. They also have a big portion and a small portion of goulash. The big portion costs 1,850 forint or 5 euro. The small one is 1,350 forint or 3.4 euro. Usually in Budapest restaurants they include service into the bill. It is between 10 and 15%. But in Kisvigadó restaurant they don't do this. The staff was very friendly, but not all the waitresses spoke English. It's not a problem in my opinion, because it's a local restaurant where mainly Hungarians go, so I give 5 points for the service. I got a big portion of goulash. The size of the portion was really big, probably half a liter, so I think price portion ratio is good, 5 points. On the other hand, I didn't like how this goulash looked, because it looked like some brown water. There was not much meat and this meat was hard to chew. Another problem was how the vegetables were cut. You know that professional cooks usually cut vegetables for soups and salads into even pieces. But in this soup, even carrots were cut into different pieces. There were also чипетки, traditional noodles, but some of them were big, some of them small, which was a bit unusual. It all affected the taste in a negative way, so I give only 3 points for the taste of this goulash. On average, Kisvigadó restaurant gets 4.5 points. It's difficult to find cheap restaurants in touristy areas, but I managed to find a restaurant in the city center where goulash costs €5 maximum, and it's called Belvárosi Lugas éterbár. It's located right in front of St. Stephen's Cathedral. This is a traditional Hungarian restaurant. On the menu they have such traditional dishes as goulash, pörkölt, paprikash, and others. The prices are quite low for these locations. The main dishes cost between 10 and €15. They have a terrace, but I decided to sit inside because I don't like sitting in this busy road where this restaurant is located. Inside the restaurant is quite small and dark. The design is not traditional, it's actually quite unusual. They have a lot of artificial trees. The whole ceiling is covered with artificial leaves. I have been to restaurants that have many plants. They look like jungles, but usually these plants are real. The design in Lugas restaurant was actually like a parody, so I give only 4 points for it. The goulash in this restaurant costs 1,850 forint or €5. On the menu it's written that it's served in a cup, and the waitress also warned me that the portion would be small. The portion was a bit bigger than in Pipa éterbár, but the price was much higher, so I give only 3 points for the price portion ratio. There was quite a lot of meat for such a small portion. The meat was very tender. For vegetables, the broth was rich, so I will give 5 points for the taste of this goulash. The service was not bad, but it was very slow. When I finished my goulash, I wanted to ask for the bill, but I could not find the waitress. Then I noticed that she was talking with her colleagues behind the counter, and she did not pay any attention to the guests. So, unfortunately, I have to reduce the points for the service, and I give only 4 points. On average, Belvárosi Lugas éterbár gets 4 points. You can see the final results on your screen. The winner today is Stex. The goulash there was really good, the atmosphere was excellent. I can definitely recommend it. Pipa and Lugas got 5 points for the taste of the goulash, and the taste, in my opinion, is the most important. Thank you for watching my channel. In October I will make 2 videos, not in Budapest. Don't miss them. It was your Hungry Masha. See you soon.